A little bird on my shoulder. Call it intuition.
I used to support the Black Stars. I mean, I like football. But for me, the height of the dysfunction was it Brazil? Mm-hmm. Yes. And when I was sitting out there, I was telling Annalise, somebody was saying they should just go and get the job done. I'm like, Ghanaians we are wishful thinkers. It's in crisis. And frankly, I'm tired of being in a country where we have we are a one-team nation. There's a whole thing that has to be done with sports administration, even football administration. Why do we think that... You even sat here and said during the break that you said, well, you can train them, you can do this. When they get on the field, they should just get the job done. And I was shaking my head at your comments. Because what have we done to make sure that they will get the job done?
We send them to Dubai to train.
Football, no, but football, like everything else, you need some kind of a long-term plan. You need to not have a whole infrastructure that peopled with people who are corrupt. You need to if you look at our local team, AC said that she's phobia, right? Yes. Even look at our local team, the way we treat our local, just if this is just one sport and we are focusing on the men, how is it that we can't seem to? So I don't understand why we keep doing the same things and expecting that one day the Black Stars will come home with a cup and we are going to rejoice and have a 2-day or 3-day holiday. I don't know. Do you think?
Well, if it falls on a weekend, it may even be longer. But
I haven't seen anything for years.
So, okay,
the only thing that makes, I will look at the pictures because Stephen Appiah is forever my captain, and so when he's there, I'll look at him. But other than that, why do you think that Ghana is going to? What have we done differently? Even since the last normal, what have we done? People don't just go on a field and perform. Performance isn't just a series of muscle movements and mind tactics. There's a whole lot that goes into it. And every time, the pressure we put on them, not giving them the proper input, not giving them all these years of just really bad management and all sorts of things that we know happen. We put them on the field, they were like, bring us a cup. Because you're Ghana for, we deserve it after 37 years. We haven't treated ourselves like we deserve it.
So this is not something that could have been done in the short term, but from what you're talking about, in the little space of time that we've observed, we've seen that they've been having regular meetings. We've even seen the coach. We understand the coach went to the president a number of times, even before this whole general captain thing happened. There's been interest shown from leadership.
You mean just having a meeting with the president guarantees that you go and win a cup? Hey,
that means that your challenges will be addressed.
Really?
Yeah.
You think? All politicians are going to have me come. Last time, what did I tell you?
Tell me again.
I told you that we are being ruled by political parties whose only reason for coming into power is resource grab. And they use anything that we Ghanaians are happy to see. And that's one of them is Black Star. So, of course, the president will intervene and will intervene in ways he probably shouldn't have. But what does it mean to say that you went and met a president? What does it mean to say the minister of sports? And this is a ministry that is underfunded. I mean, what does it really mean? Don't even get me. You are frustrating me this morning because sports like arts, technology, literacy are tools to develop young people. Way before we got here, we should have had our act together. I mean, I grew up at AC. We had sports programs in schools that were functioning. Schools like APAM Secondary were known to be schools where athletes. There was a headmistress there who made it her point to recruit athletes. Ghana had programs that went just beyond this one team, national team that we all seem to want to worship for lack of anything better, which will be our fault, not because. But how do you develop these? I mean, I don't understand. So now we think, hey, other countries are serious. So I hear our president has gone to Egypt to share the same dais with somebody like Uhuru Kenyatta, whose country, if they don't win, if they don't make a showing, my father's people, if they don't make a showing here and it's not good, that they are winning. Look at how they've taken their long distance running. Boxing. My mama Nkasa.
Mama Kasapam.
Oh, yeah.
You're live on the Super
They
Morning
should
Show. It's
just
17
go
past
and do
8.
their best
I want
and
to
come
get Esi's thoughts on this one quickly before we move on. Now, what we know about soccer is that soccer often commoditizes the players. So you find that we have a system that grooms young men that is able to get them to a point where they can go and play internationally. We seem to have cashed in on that a bit. So we have your Andre Ayew, you have your Michael Essien. In this squad, we also have Asamoah Gyan. So that seems to work. And now we have a result of a couple of good players that we can look at, right?
Since we're talking about solutions, I'll avoid the problems. I think, one, we need to do more in sports management. I think that's where all the issues are, the leadership and the management of teams, etc. And one of the things that we need to see sportsmen and women proactively do, or the support system around them, what we need to see them do is to train them on the business side. So the fact that you're out there running, the fact that you're out there playing soccer, you should also be gotten to understand the business side of it, so that when the agents are playing you, you understand what's going on, etc. The sports management itself, I'd love to see programs in sports management where people are not just doing, booga booga, do it as you go, but are actually trained to understand the commercial side. So you're leveraging it, not just hanging your hopes and aspirations on a few good players who, by individual efforts for the most part, have built themselves up. Your system hasn't built those people up. So I want to see more intentionality, and for me that's the beginning point, the solution. Leaders, management, build a good system to produce more bench strength, as opposed to just a few key people who are pretty much doing it on their own, and then we ride on their success.
So you agree with Kina that we haven't done enough to expect a trophy in a month?
Oh yeah, I agree.
Oh, no belief at all in the studio.
I think I wish them well. I hope they can win because they have a lot at stake. They need to, from the Brazil fiasco, we've all kind of just, do whatever you will. We've moved on beyond you. So they have a lot of restoration to do, restore public interest in what they're doing, the excitement, etc. If they manage to get a win, they'll begin turning those wheels. But till that happens, we'll just wish them well and hope that they can actually salvage all the things that they've destroyed with their own hands.
So Dr. Tete actually moonshines as a sports pundit. Yes. So she does a bit. And I was shocked when I heard Gary here say this morning how this is actually our best run. For the past 6 AFCONs, we've done at least semi-final. And this is the best period that we've had as a team. So isn't it time that we get more?
Well, we've had a lot of challenges as a team. We've had a lot of challenges with sports management, administration, with the players. Ghana is a sports-loving country, but everything started from Brazil. After Brazil, then there was the Anas expose. So after those two things, it made everybody lose faith, hope, interest, love in the whole sporting system, especially in football. It was like we were shattered. Now we don't know what to believe. We don't know, okay, are these people playing for money? Has somebody been paid for this and that? So it makes it difficult to restore our original love in the team. I'd like to throw my weight behind them because I want Ghanaians to love the team just like we used to love them. So I'd hope against hope that we come home with the trophy. It's not going to be easy. Looking at our group is good. I think we can go beyond the first stage, round of 16, but then that's where the problem starts. But Ghanaian footballers are funny, so sometimes you don't expect them to do too well, and then they do very well. Sometimes you think this is an easy team, they should be able to score, and then they end up making us lose hope or breaking our hearts again. So I would say that I'm hoping that they win. Today I predict 2-1. Yes, ish. Yes, just
I
so that
found
we
the
can love.
optimist. I found the
Just so
optimist.
yes, I just want us to all love the team once again, because it was beautiful when we all loved the team. And I mean, when Asamajan missed that penalty, you should have seen how it was. The next day was as if something had happened to Ghana. The whole country was quiet.
Africa.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see, that's the love that we had. So I just want us to do well so that we regain that love again. That's just it for me.
I remember that night, and I've never seen such long queues in church stations in Takoradi. I've never seen. It was as if the whole world was in town,
Yes.
and as soon as the game was over, everyone just queued to go home. It was so terrible. But anyway, you're live on the Super Morning Show. So even in our discussion about our chances for tonight, some of the issues that we have crop up. And one of the main things I picked from what Kena was talking about is long-term mentality. And you find Issy also talking about it. We haven't thought long-term and acted long-term in grooming our sports talent. And that also comes up in some of the other things that we've been talking about. So I'll begin this time with Issy on what some of your pet peeves are and how you feel like we should begin to approach them. So we've discussed a number of them already off air, but I'll just allow you to begin.
So I'd like to frame this. Well, we're looking for solutions. 3 things matter. 1, leadership. 2, systems that good leaders will build. And then 3, followership. Right? So in the context of pet peeves, we should always think of, okay, what can leaders do? What can followers do? What can the system look like? One of the things that really, really annoys me is our penchant for leaving things half done and not paying attention to details and excellence. I call it biarism and fanosiism. You know, it's a certain mindset where we leave things half done, and the examples and even staircases are super common. When you find a staircase in Ghana that is nicely done, very even, it's like, oh wow, what happened here? If you buy artwork, woodwork, sculptures, etc., just run your hand behind it, or furniture, very rough. And when you say it, oh, madam, they'll tell you, chair no asiano so be
You've done just enough.
Yeah. So doing the barest minimum really, really gets to me. And for me, the all these things that we see as pet peeves, or for me, it annoys me, but it's actually because there are deeper roots. It goes deeper than that. You're living in a space and a cultural space where you don't badmouth your benefactor. When somebody's doing something for you, you're supposed to be, accept it, etc., etc. And so the moment you feel somebody is doing for you, culturally, take it as it is. It's also a symptom of this mentality of depending on other people, right? So you're depending on other people to do for you. And at the end of the day, you kind of accept it as it is. And it's also a symptom of the fact that we don't have options. We don't have good options. So if the quality of the work person A is giving me is very low, and I really don't have an option B, C, D, E, F, let me take it like that. And at the end of the day, you have this downward spiral where we're just taking things as they are, right? What do we do about it? What are some of the solutions? For me, like I said, leadership. Leaders who have to insist on the right thing. There are times when you'll be labeled, and this is also very cultural, labeled as too known or a Frenchim dodo. Just because you're insisting the right things should be done. You need leaders who will insist this is the standard. And so when it's poorly done, you have to go and do it again. I can't stand seeing documents with typos. Yes, when I'm typing, I type fast and I'll make errors, but proofreading is something that I definitely do. Everybody needs to do that. And so you raise the level. When you look at, talking about proofreading, we've had so many embarrassments. We've made Jomo Kenyatta our president before.
We've made the skyline of Kenya.
Yes, we've adopted skylines that don't belong to us. we've spelled things wrongly, and leaders who should demand excellence. If I give you a contract to do work for me and you don't do it well, I will insist you do it well before I pay you. And I'm not going to take badly spelt something and go and present it to somebody. It's embarrassing. You see, so what do we do about it? Leaders need to insist. You'll be called names. Oh, she's some way. He's this, he's that. It's okay, so long as you insist on things being done. And then you build the systems. So if it's documentation that's coming out of your office, making sure that 2 people, 3 people, you have some kind of quality control mechanism. Build a system that will sustain the excellence you're trying to create. And once we begin to do that, you see it transforming who we are. Healthcare, education, the teacher who's not going to accept anything. Social promotion happens in our schools where we promote children because, watch out, class 5 in without figuring out what are the foundations the child is missing. Infrastructure, death can happen because somebody didn't do their work properly, they didn't do the wiring properly, there's a fire, building collapses, people die, and it's all behaviorism because we do it anyhow and then we move on. So insisting on doing things properly that leaders should do, we the followers, demanding. So if you go and you're buying something, you're paying for it. They're not doing you a favor. Demand, the right quality. I remember I rejected business cards that were printed for me about 10 years ago when I moved back. I told the guy, they're crooked, I don't want them. And he had to use his own money to reprint. Of course, the next time I needed cards, he told me he doesn't do that anymore. So anyway, long and short is build good systems. Leaders should insist on doing things right. Set up quality control mechanisms. Then you begin to see things changing.
I love the way you take an attitudinal problem and you translate it into something that action can change. Because you see, Kina, whenever we talk about throwing rubbish away, for instance, it can always come back to an attitude of an individual, forgetting that Lee Kuan Yew, in his book, he wrote about how he saw this as a problem, and so he decided through his education system to change how people think. I don't know how possible it is. It looks like such a huge issue, but how possible is it for us to begin?
When AC was talking about, I wanted to I'm always coming back to, but she said leadership, and then I groaned inside. I'm like, God, where is that going to come from? But this business about the typos on presidential stuff now, right? Some of our problem has to do with, again, the co-opting of certain functions that Ghana civil service used to do well by political operatives and their surrogates, right? So this business of huge embarrassment, the year of return sash, they spelled return wrong. I am willing to bet that if these functions of state went back to the departments that had handled them and trained people over time to do it, we wouldn't be seeing this. Again, I'm going to come back to corruption, because a lot of this is procurement corruption. I'm not leaving this post. I want to remind us that this is what we are dealing with. So we in effect, when AC talks about leadership, and when we look at Ghana as a whole, we are looking at a political party system that really doesn't want us to do the right thing, to enable them not to do the right thing and steal. Because why would somebody else be printing the program, but the state protocol people who would be printing your program, but people are getting contracts to do it. And once the contract has been given, in Ghana, we've trained good people. We continue to train good people. There are departments across the country where historically they've been known to train really good people. But when the politicians come in with their surrogates and their procurement, this and their and everything has a budget that is overinflated, this is where, because unfortunately for us, and in other countries, the corruption, they still do it and they do the good job. In our country, they are doing the corruption and they are not doing the good job. And they are actually making the leaders look bad It's not the opposition that's going to make the leader a leader lose. It's going to be his or her own people, because of the incredible corners they are going to cut to get something done. And because you've noticed that every problem now in Ghana, we are setting up new institutions, passing new bills. Why are we doing that? We have loads of institutions, we have loads of bills, we have loads of laws, but every problem now that comes that upsets the people, then there's a vigilante something that is passing in Parliament. Like, why? There was a special prosecutor's office. What about all the other institutions that were mandated to deal with corruption that were not funded? So we have to be we have to clue ourselves in that our dysfunction in Ghana now, what AC talks about the systems, we are being prevented from having these systems, and we need to confront some of those things. Because if we are not training people, we are not bad. We are not bad. No people are 100% bad. It's not possible. Even 50% bad. AC is correct with the systems. So what is preventing us from doing the systems? After you have the good systems, then you want to talk about habit changing. I try and change my habits. It's very difficult. I think that if I have to change my habits along with a group of Ghanaians, it will be easier. I have accountability people. No, it is true. But how do you change habits? By the things she has. These are habits, like it's almost as though the country needs to change its habits. And it has to do with the environment, with the systems you put in, with accountability, with enforcement, with compliance, with laws. Well, if we do these things, these people are not going to be able to resource grab the way. We have a fight amongst ourselves. I want to remind us, what does our anthem say? Resist oppressors rule. Modern day oppression in Ghana, we know who they are.
I'm going to be a bit controversial here, because a lot of people say clientelism is a real problem.
What's clientelism?
Well, I was going to explain, but then when we demand ridiculous things from politicians, and so they are forced to resource grab to meet them. I mean, on a personal level, I'm not talking about roads. I'm talking about like my school fees.
Well, you know why we do that? People do that because we don't have safety nets. We don't have social welfare. We are so far, like I keep asking myself, so why are we a country? If we are a country, then we are taking care of our most marginalized, our poorest. We don't have those things. We don't have a lot of them. So you can, if you have a system that is inclusive, is equitable, you've cut down maybe 30% of your corruption you are doing, some of these things will go away. You are training young people. Education systems are good. We've opening up job opportunities. People have options. The myriad of things that can happen in a society that is developing. Some of these things will go away. So I don't worry about those things, because there are these other things we need to do. If we did these things, the things that we really need to do, and those problems persisted, then it would be a problem for me. But right now it's not, because you have bigger issues you need to deal with.
Okay. So jumping in, the three things I mentioned: leadership. You need leaders who will push back. So I should be a district executive or an MP who is willing, and this is very difficult, willing to be unpopular, willing to lose the vote, just because I insist that, when you come to me and you want school fees, it's not sustainable for you as an individual. So let me fix the school so that now you actually can go get a good education, etc. Let me teach you to fish rather than give you the fish. So if you come to me or the hospital and you need to go and be able to, take care of yourself, etc., let me fix the hospital so that bottleneck of going and sitting there all day when you're not well, we take care of it. So leaders need to push back and be willing to lose something in the process. And you realize that by the time it's election time, you've taken people through tough love, you've built a good system, and they'll put you back because they realize the difference you've made.
Isn't that easier said than done?
Easier said than done, but it's got to start from somewhere. You need that one person who will be an example. If we're waiting to see perfection around us before we now jump on it, it'll never happen. And so being that leader, being that follower who realizes, Shally, this politician, if I go to him, it's not sustainable. And of course, I'm going to go and queue with everybody, etc. What can I do for myself? And of course, you need an economy and a system that will help people to fish rather than be given fish. Once you begin to look at it as, in my little corner as a teacher, in somebody's corner as a farmer, what can they do to make sure they are not depending on somebody else's, favor, etc. So it's not the kind of, it's a wicked problem, as in it's so complex and there's no one solution. Yes, clientelism abounds in our socio-cultural context, but it's going to start from one person deciding, you know what, when you come to me and you're looking for help, I'll send you back down to the system because I've created a system that works. Let me use myself as an example. People are looking for jobs. People will send their CVs to me directly, and I tell them they are recruiters, so I send them back down. People will come into your office, I want to see the boss. Tell them, well, I can help you. No, I insist on seeing the boss. If they get to the boss, a good boss will send them back down and say, you know what, and that's what the presidents should be doing. Everybody's going to see them and, I'm glad you're here because you think we can help, and we can. Go back down, go to the ministry of so-and-so, go to the district so-and-so, and then you make sure you resource them to help the people. So now you lift that burden off you. We need people, just a few people who will be the example. And when we see it working, then it's easier to follow along.
Live on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM, 22 minutes at the top of the hour. We're here in the studio with Esian Sakina Lekimani and Hannah Lisa Tete, who I'm going to speak to right now. So we've been talking about Esian's pet peeve number 1, which is biaraism, fanusism,
mediocrity. Really.
Mediocrity.
Yes.
I wanted to say the man autism,
yes.
but yes. And you work in a hospital, Hannah.
Yeah.
How do you see this way of thinking present itself?
Well, I'll start from outside the hospital before I get to the hospital. I think that it starts from the way we are brought up. We are not brought up to strive for excellence. It's like there's no excellence demanded from you. Especially, I'll use the females example. When you're studying really hard and maybe you're topping the class, they'll be asking you, what are you studying to? What do you want? Why are you studying? In the end, you have to marry somebody. Or they'll tell you, if you study too much and you get to a certain position, men would be, you would intimidate men. So that's the culture. So you don't feel like excellence is required from you. So as you're going, you are made to believe that anything is just okay. Let me strive to get maybe just above waters, if I should say. If 50 is the pass mark, when I get 52, I should be okay. And that's how we grow up. And so it's like our leaders, even at work, when you have a boss who is expecting so much from you, you start complaining. You think that he dislikes you, but then he wants the best out of you. When you have a boss who's pushing you out of your comfort zone, you start complaining. We don't even like to be moved out of our comfort zone. Somebody is, I'm a doctor. I go out, I'm doing sports on TV, on radio, I'm on TV sometimes, and people are asking, why are you a doctor and you're doing this as well? So we like to confine people. So it makes people feel like, okay, let me just remain in my corner. Otherwise, people will say, I'm too known or I'm striving too much for what? But when you go outside in other places, you are encouraged to be more than you can actually be. You are encouraged to think that there's so much more to you. So no matter how high you are, you feel like I can do more. And they work with the I can do more attitude. So I think that it's how we are brought up as children. Their attitude is like that with our parents, with our leaders, and so that's how we bring children up. Even as kids, when a 2-year-old is asking questions in our society, they'll say, keep quiet, you are too young to know. But outside, they say once the child is able to ask that question, it means the child can understand it. You see, so you see the difference in the way we are brought up. For us, they'll say, keep quiet. Or for us, when you're even having some form of conversation that is considered adult conversation, they say they shut you up because they feel you are too young to have that kind of conversation. And I always have that when it comes to sex education. I'll come into the hospital. Parents don't talk to their kids about sex because they feel they shouldn't know. But the thing is, they see a lot on social media. They hear a lot. They want to know. So you don't tell them. They go outside and they get the wrong information. But outside, they sit their children down, even sometimes give them condoms. They tell them the truth about everything. But we, even the parents who tell us something, would hide some things from you because they believe that when they tell you, you become a bad girl, or they're encouraging you to have sex. Giving condoms to your children is encouraging them to have sex. They will get it anyway. So why don't you rather advise them? So I think that it's just all of us, the way we are trained not to actually strive for the best. So we are okay with the very little, and then we move on.
Very interesting roots to the issues that we are talking about. And as the ladies were talking, I keep thinking back to Komla Duma, who said repeatedly that whenever he speaks, people says he's Nigerian. It's not because of his accent, it's because of the way he behaves. Kina, is there a Ghanaian character which is subdued?
I don't think there is a Ghanaian character, but there is I don't know the word, maybe an impetus, or maybe there's a box that they want to put you in, right? And humility seems to on the top of the list. You could be a thief, but you could have charged the government 165% of cost and deliver shoddy work. But if you are humble,
if you look
humble
by our definition,
Say please.
humility seems to be, and it's a problem I have, because it doesn't. It's humility is fantastic. My mother is very humble. But I don't know. It must come. There are other things that we also need just as much as humility, and some of it. Some of it is also from our colonial times. We there's a thing. People weaponize English. I always say this. So they weaponize English. So if you don't speak English, you are lesser than. And of course, it's becoming ingrained in us. So if somebody speaks really good English and the person is humble, the person could be like doing Ghana and it wouldn't really matter. The person is humble. So I don't think that I don't like to say there's a national. I don't like to insult Ghanaians. No, I don't, because I've never said one of my pet peeves outside of my issues with corrupt leaders and all that is that we insult each other too much.
Okay.
So when we identify a problem, say we have a problem, we do not have a sanitation system. So I don't know how people think that Ghana will be clean, but absent a sanitation system, apparently we are dirty people. People will insult Ghanaians, black people, and then we will turn very quickly anti-black. Like black men are, the black man, you're evil. How can you trust? But we live with each other. How are we going to, if you think bad about yourself and you think bad about your people, how are you going to be a follower when they see us that we need to be followers of leaders that are going to get the job done? Where are we going to get the confidence to do the things that we need to do? So one thing I don't want us to do is to insult each other. No, we mustn't. We must be very careful. It becomes a running refrain. The insults there be. But is there a Ghanaian character? That one there. I said it's if you can be humble. But I do agree with what exact. But I want to also insist that excellence comes out of systems. You are not, and excellence, literacy is one of the best. In fact, if I think about ideologies and actions and things that are excellent, literacy is on the top. Look at how easy really literacy is, right? Literacy is enabled by a system. So whether it's your own traditional system of literacy or the more so-called formal functional system of literacy, excellence and doing comes out of systems. Once you have a system, it doesn't even mean people just have functions in the system. I read a book about changing habits, and there was this analogy the writer used was an American football. American football. Yeah. And this team had been losing and losing and losing. So they got this new African American coach. And, on the field, American football, I think you can have like 21 people. It's a big team. Of people, yeah. And he told everybody, you have one function. When the whistle blows, do not overthink somebody else's movement.
Just do what you have.
If me, Kina, my role is to pass the ball when I see that the quarterback has moved to my left, that's the only thing I have to do. That's my one function, That's it. And sooner or later, they all were doing that. They were not overthinking. They were not being asking somebody else. They were not super guessing. This is what a system is. So then they started winning. In about 2 seasons, they won. So sometimes when we talk about systems of excellence, it makes people feel even more like it's not attainable. But a good system, there are many different levels in it. What we need, AC has talked about this perfectly. We need systems, and then we need to be encouraged. The same systems that you put in place must make good followers out of us. You know, when there's a car accident in Ghana, people say, oh, Ghanaian drivers, they are all bad. Or they are overspeeding. Part of that is true, but most of the roads are engineered to kill us. And there are no street lights. And when the police stop people on the street, they take one city. So if you see what I mean, so you need systems to bring compliance.
That will capture everything.
Precisely.
You know what? I love the way this one thoughts of half and half completion when it comes to execution, it translates into everything else, because we could actually sit and have a conversation about every one of our pet peeves, and it comes down to us starting something and not finishing. I'll resist the temptation of applying this to every conversation we are going to have this morning. And what I'll do right now is that I'll put a full stop here, and when we come back, we'll come to Hannalisa, and then she will raise some of the issues that she has, and then we'll continue the conversation. It's 12 minutes to the top of the hour. I don't know how the time flies when we are sitting here, but it's called the Super Morning Show. This is what we do. We are here with Kena Lekimani, Esiansa, and Hannalisa Tete. We'll be right back.
So you wanted that weave, that one that's so long it touches your toes. Got it. A disco light for the room when the sweetheart comes over. Swoon your major bagged it. Those chrome spinning wheels that will have people at church praying to be you. Bought them. Now, how about those mega woofers that will wake up the whole neighborhood? Ordered. Because you've got the card that makes it all possible.
You don't need a bank account to spoil yourself. You can now securely load funds for travel, pay for goods and services online and at your favorite shop, or give your loved ones unending spending options or possibilities with a perfect gift card. Get a Cowbank prepaid card now, because you can.
Cowbank, forward together. Ministry of Communications and Ghana Data Protection Commission, in collaboration with the Network of African Data Authorities, proudly present the Africa Data Protection and Privacy Conference at the Accra International Conference Center, Ghana.
From 26th to 27th June 2019, join global experts to discuss contemporary issues such as the alignment between privacy and the right to information,
safeguarding of national databases, and the security of personal data,
acceptable national identification, and challenges specific to the region,
artificial intelligence, financial inclusion, among many pertinent issues. Speakers include representatives from the United Nations,
ECOWAS,
Council of Europe, and global experts from the private sector and civil society.
Guest speaker, His Excellency Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia, Vice President of Ghana. For information on participation and registration, visit www.ardppc.com
or contact +233 050 185 3955. This message is brought to you by the Ghana Data Protection Commission and partners.
The Malcolm Grand Furniture Sale promo is on. Really? Tell me more. Enjoy 10 to 50% discount on the entire range of home and office furniture. Wow! Exclusive offers you won't find again. I like it. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Malcolm, where Ghana shops.
Here's what people are saying about the GCB Easy Pick.
It just makes sense.
It just makes sense.
It just makes sense.
It just makes sense.
Yes, saving makes a lot more sense now. GCB Bank will pay for anything you buy, from phones, TVs, air conditioners, generators, solar equipment to roofing sheets from any GCB partner shop. And you can pay back later at a reduced price of up to 25% in discounts. Simply walk into any GCB partner shop, pick up what you want at a GCB discount price and fill a form. GCB will pay for you so you can pay back later in installments. Go, get it sooner, get it cheaper, pay later. GCB Easy Pick, it just makes sense. Terms and conditions apply.
GCB Bank, your bank for life.
Coffee in your cup and Joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
Abrabo nyina ne wana monto asetra mu konim die nyina gyina oso enso se wan kentima etra ye de so da ye mpo
people come to the hospital and you ask them basic questions like, do you know your family history of disease? Do you know if there's any chronic disease in your family? They don't know. This is something that you can just call. I mean, you have a lot of conversations with your family members. You can just call them and ask them, what killed my grandmother? What killed my grandfather? What disease runs in our family? But people don't know, and it's like they don't care. The other thing too is when people don't do regular medical checkups, so they don't think it's necessary. They don't have the time. They say they are too busy. And if you don't find out if there's something wrong with you, I mean, how would you be able to? We don't like to practice preventive medicine. How will you be able to guard against whatever it is? Now, the other thing is when people come to the hospital and you give them medication, most of them don't complete the course. They take 1, 2, and they are done. So many of us are guilty. 1, 2, and they are done. The other thing is, even when they take them, when somebody comes and the person has a chronic illness, you tell the person, this is a condition that is managed. That's just something they don't want to hear. Managed conditions. So they go out there, see a herbalist, gives them something else. They take it, and then they come back worse off than it was. And at that time, more often than not, there's not much we can do because you've destroyed your organs as already. Then there's the issue of religion. We give them medications. I think that we like to put God in a box. One of my struggles in the health delivery is when you're taking care of a patient, they believe that God should heal them just like that without medication. They fail to see that it's the same God that gave wisdom and knowledge to human beings to come up with drugs. So that in itself is a form of miracle. No, they don't see it that way. Having to undergo surgery is something that some pastors believe shouldn't be done. You see, they have this popular saying in Chi, "Sika in Kaoda." So when somebody comes and the only solution to their problem is surgical management, they'll say no. They will go away expecting that God would heal them. So I ask them, who then becomes God? You who's putting God in a box, insisting that this is the way you want to be healed, or God who is even making you find out that you have something that can be cured or managed. Remember that there are other Christians who walk about and they only, especially maybe let's say a hypertensive, he's walking, the first presentation of his disease is a stroke. What would he say? That is the complication of the disease. What would he say? But you're walking about, you have a headache, you're not sure, you're just not feeling well. You come to the hospital, and through that, we find out that no, it's not even the headache that's the problem, but you're actually hypertensive. That in itself should be seen as a miracle. So my biggest problem is the fact that we personally don't seem to care about our health. We don't do anything to improve upon our health, to prevent diseases. We're just there. We think we are too busy. Some people will say we spend too much time in the hospital. Okay, imagine you have to spend 24 hours or 1 day out of 365 days in a year. Is that too much to ask for regarding your health? But if you had to go and sit through an interview for 1 whole day, you sit there. So I think that our biggest problem is that we are not concerned about our health. We complain about the systems, the attitudes of people, but we are not concerned about our health.
So I'll turn the guns on all of us in studio because I don't remember the last time I had it. Okay, we had a checkup. They had a checkup for us in the office here as a company. And that has made me do my checkup. But I don't remember the last time I personally went to the hospital. Have you?
I do. I keep my health stats in an Excel sheet.
Wow.
And I have an app that I track everything.
So how did you begin or build that habit?
When you have a lot of issues, you start paying attention.
Oh, okay. So it was your health care situation.
It's really sometimes that's how I function generally. So I track things. I like to document everything because when I go to the hospital and ask me, when was the last time you felt this way? What happened just before then? Then I realize I don't remember. So at a point I started writing down so that when I go and the doctor asks me, when did you last feel this way? Was it before meals or after meals? Then I can actually say something. So typically, when let's say I have a headache today, I start wondering, okay, what's going on? I note it down. The next time I note it down and I begin to see the patterns amongst it, then it's easier, So for me personally, I'm getting to the point where I pay attention, etc., because I like to write things down, I like to track things, etc.
But you work in human capital development, so you've definitely seen people who do the other, who do not behave that way. How does that present itself?
I think it's a combination of many things. One, there's superstition, the fear of knowing. Hey, once you know, then so there's the superstition. There's just plain honest ignorance that people won't make linkages to certain things. So there's just genuine ignorance in the system. And there's also sometimes people feel, well, it'll be too expensive. I don't have the money to take care of it. So just pray and then hope that it goes away.
In my case, it's just time.
For some people, yes, a lot of working people, working professionals is time. But the cost, when something breaks down, then you realize that the time is the least of your wahala.
I'm gonna take a little bit of, I'm not holding brief for Ghanaians. I'm a diabetic on insulin, and I track everything. But what I want to say is that about even family histories and disease management, we simply don't know. Ignorance. AC said ignorant very quickly. But here's the thing. There are those of us who make use of information, who are educated, have access to the internet, and we make use of the information. But a lot more has to be done. Running campaigns, public education campaigns. This thing you talk about, family histories, even a lot of educated Ghanaians won't know what is a positive family history for some type of disease, right? Now, what happens in Ghana, I'm glad she brought up religion, is that when, people live and they want informational, may look like they don't want information and engagement, but they want information and engagement. And the only sector that engages with Ghanaians on a regular basis is the religious sector. So it's almost as though all the other sectors that have to educate Ghanaians on something have to compete with the religious sector, or actually go through the churches and find out how to change. I'm a diabetic. I was diagnosed last year. And all of a sudden, I see that there are lots of other diabetics. There is not the kind of, and I believe we are in an epidemic, right? I not having access to the numbers, I am alarmed now by how many diabetics I now know. But I look at the public space and there isn't information. There isn't, and because certain diseases that require management also require a change in how you live. There's a lot more that we have to do, not only in education, but supporting people to change those lifestyles and manage their diseases. But again, this is where, our healthcare system has failed us, because Ghana, you know how we talk about Ghana of some past years and we think a lot was happening, but maybe a lot was happening. If it's not something that has been identified by the donor agencies as a major disease, then we now know we have a problem. We have a problem with hypertension. We have a problem with diabetes, cardiovascular diseases. As African women, we have a problem with fibroids. There are every day there should be a message being flashed somewhere on your screens, on TV, on radio. The public health system that has collapsed. So I understand what Doc is saying about it, but you see, it's not organic.
It's not that straightforward.
It's not organic that people know what their family histories are. Again, to even know your family history, like, I read an article where this person had come to Ghana and done some research on cancer. And they were like, cancer is an emerging mental health disease in Ghana. And I was like, in my villages, and I have a lot. I don't know anybody who's been told to go and do a biopsy. I don't know anybody who's had exploratory surgery on them to see how far advanced. When you are sick with cancer, they send you home. If you go to Mankasim Hospital or Solpon, they will tell you they can't help you now. So even the diagnosis, for those of us whose families are not too far, our history of coming out of the villages is recent now, right? Me, my grandmother, she followed everything. Dr. Pilway, so my grandmother did know, right? But a lot of people, we don't know what our grandmothers died of. We don't know what, because even now, people are dying in rural areas. They will tell you have malaria. we are not doing diagnosis. So even having access to that information is a hurdle. Understanding how that is a positive history for yourself is a hurdle. So there's a lot we have to do. Again, we can't expect a perfect environment and then we start behaving. But I would really like to see a lot more of not just, it doesn't even have to be, I'm saying that even myself as a diabetic, I should do a whole lot more to talk about diabetes, right? But we should, those of us who have some of these issues and we think we are getting a handle on it, even forming small groups in hospitals to talk about it, this is what happens when we are caring about each other's health. But it is not something that is organic. And of course, then the religious aspect is making us scared. In my village, if you refer somebody to Interbetan, they get scared because, if you refer somebody to Kolebu, they will say he won't come. The person won't come home because it's a tertiary institution. And they understand that when you get referred to a tertiary institution, you are really sick. They may not understand it as a tertiary institution. But there are lots that we have to do. And we cannot assume that I can't assume that my access and how I use information is how everybody else's is. Do you see?
So there's education and then there's personal responsibility.
Yes.
The education, of course, has to run through the system. And I'll tell you how. And
let me also say prioritizing. Okay. It's heartbreaking to hear that we still have people who are dying from crisis as sickle cell people. We should have, I don't run a hospital, but there should be a way in which somebody comes from the sickle cell. It's like all guns blazing because this is something that has been affecting Ghanaians for a very long time. So there is a lot we have to do.
And I love how it has to begin with education because this is, again, Hannah-Lisa, it's about how people think. And it's about how people react. And you can't expect someone to wake up in the morning and wants to go and check up, spend all day in the hospital. You can't just sit down and expect that to happen out of nowhere. Okay, we have to take JBM now. That's the Joy Business Minutes. We'll be right back to continue with just this strand of conversation. Stay with us.
Charles. Time for the Joy Business Minute with me, Karen, and Charles.
The Bank of Ghana will soon announce a new minimum capital requirement for all institutions engaged in mobile money operations. Head of Payment System at the BOG, Dr. Seto Amedeku, says the initiative will be launched before the end of the year.
Managing Director of Consolidated Bank Ghana, Daniel Addo, has stated that laid-off staff have the first rise of employment in its expansion plans. Some 2,000 workers of the bank are said to have lost their jobs after the bank assumed assets and liabilities of some 5 banks.
The NIC says it will commence auditing all insurance companies on their recapitalization plans before the end of 2019. The move is part of plans to check the viability of these firms to meet the new requirement.
And some of America's richest people are urging U.S. presidential candidates to back a wealth tax on super rich to improve inequality and climate change. Signatories include investor George Soros, Facebook's co-founder Chris Hughes, and Molly Manga, daughter of billionaire Charlie Manga.
Wouldn't be a bad idea to try in Ghana, Karen?
Well, on behalf of the super rich, we don't think so.
Good morning, NDK. My name is Kwame. I just returned from a peacekeeping mission and I received some bonuses that I would like to invest in order to buy some land later. How much return will NDK give me?
Good morning, Kwame. My name is Roslyn. Thank you for choosing NDK. The returns depend on the amount you are investing and the duration of the investment. Currently, our rates range between 3 to 5% above 1-year Treasury bill rate. For more information, call NDK's toll-free line 0800 123 123 or visit us at ndkfinancialservices.com.
This is the
the 12th edition of the Water Africa and West African Building and Construction Exhibition and Seminar Program in Accra, and it's brought to you by Ace Event Management Limited. This program will be held at the Kempinski Gold Coast City Hotel from the 26th to 28th of June 2019. Limited exhibition space is still available, and I know you don't want to miss this. For more information, call 024-851-8390 or visit www.ace-events.com.
It's here again. The much anticipated Hearty Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Fair is here again. The experience, the B2B matchmaking sessions were rewarding. This year's edition promises to be much more exciting with variety of fruits and vegetable products on display. Come source for your quality fruits and vegetables, connect with agribusiness artists, or exhibit your produce. Exhibitors can call 024-967-2135, 024-967-2135, or email exhibition@heartyfresh.org. Exhibition opens from July 2nd to 5th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily. Theme: promoting quality fruits and vegetables for a competitive domestic and export sector. Side attraction: July 2nd, opening ceremony. July 3rd, seminars. July 4th, Hearty Fresh Business Platform meeting and award ceremony. Attendance is free. Don't miss out.
In partnership with Joy FM and National Theatre, Roverman Productions presents an Ebo-wide play titled I Want Your Wife.
You do not fool me, Abner. You don't fool me. You think I did not know that you've always wanted to marry your boy for his money?
And why not? I married you for nothing. I may as well marry your boy for money.
Hey, Abner, when did you get to be like this?
I got to be like this when you sat down in church like an Egyptian mummy that had smoked weed and said nothing when that girl said our marriage was a mistake.
I Want Your Wife shows on the 6th, 7th, 13th, and 14th July 2019. Venue, National Theatre. Rates, 80 Ghana cedis. Time, 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. each day. Tickets available at Joy FM and all usual outlets. For deliveries, WhatsApp 050-554-6030. Sponsors: Bond Savings and Loans, Crush Fruit Juice, Old Mutual Life Assurance Company Limited, and Passion Air. Media partners: Adum TV, Joy Prime, Joy News, MyJoyOnline.com, Roverman Productions. Be the difference.
Lamle, where's your husband?
Landlord, he's not back from work.
You haven't finished paying your rent. And look at the number of fishes swimming in your soup.
Hey, landlord.
Lamle, I had a really hectic day. The car left me on the road today too.
Akwesi, I can't stand all the embarrassment from the landlord.
Are you a salaried worker? Do you need a fast loan to pay your bills? Do you need a loan to complete your housing project? Or do you need a loan for any other business? Look no further. With Blue Financial Services Term Loans, you can secure a loan with a flexible payment plan at a competitive rate. Simply dial 0303-968-196 or locate us at Osu near the MTN office and Allied Oil filling station. Blue Financial Services Term Loan, a loan with the flexible payment plan.
The MPS Terminal 3 is an ultra-modern container terminal fitted with the most advanced gantry cranes in the world and terminal operating systems. The terminal has automated its processes for entry and exiting the port, including gate operating systems, truck appointment systems with biometric access control for drivers, and license plate recognition for vehicles. All truck drivers who pick up or drop containers at the port must register to use the new port systems. The registration is free. You will need a valid driver's license and DVLA sticker. Registration is taking place at MPS Terminal 3 GPHA. You can also find our mobile registration van within the Tema Metropolis or call to get the location on 055-970-4824. Registration times are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mondays to Saturdays at MPS Terminal 3 and 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. for the mobile registration van. Register now before the new port opens on 28th June. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Nothing stops our desire to win. From being several goals down to winning the game. From the tackles, the dribbles, even the Sulia before the winning goal. Nothing stops our drive. The Ghanaian game is alive. It's in all of us. The Total AFCON 2019. We were made for this.
Let nothing stop your passion. Keep paying with your Visa card or scan to pay with Visa. Ask your bank for a Visa card today. Visa, everywhere you want to be.
Super Morning
Morning Show.
17 minutes past 9 here on the Super Morning Show. Enjoy 99.7 FM. I am Daniel Dazi here in the studio with Isi Ansa, Kinali Kimani, and Hanadiza Tete. MFA says, sitting at an interview pool, go to the registration centers now. People have been there since 2 a.m. Yet when it comes to their health, they feel spending too much time at the hospital is too much. MFA. Well, when you call it too much time, of course, someone will say it's too much. But I don't think it's too much time, at least. Yeah. I'm being educated sitting here right now. We have just a few more minutes so we open the phone lines. We want you to tell us what your pet peeves are and what the solutions should be. However, we didn't get Hanlisa to tell us what exactly the solutions should be, since it seems like such an attitudinal thing. Yes. So we'll start with that and then we'll open the phone lines. Hannah.
Okay, so aside the attitudinal thing, changing your attitude towards health and prioritizing your health, I think that we need to stop stigmatizing people with certain diseases, because there are certain people who are diabetics and just don't want to take the medicine because they don't want anybody to see. When people see, they begin to scare them. So first of all, aside the stigmatization as well, there's the fear of knowing, as AC mentioned. So people won't go to the hospital because they say when you go to the hospital, they will definitely find something wrong with you. So people don't go to the hospital at all. Then pastors should please help us, because there are certain things that should encourage people not to put God in a box. Yes, when somebody is sick, encourage the person to take their medication. Is it not beautiful that somebody takes their antihypertensive drugs, receives healing, comes to the hospital, the BP is so low, and we now say stop taking the medication? Is that not better than allowing the person to believe that they have been healed, so they stop taking the medication, and the next time we see them, they have a stroke? Yes, education is good. We try as much as possible to educate people. We can't do it alone as health workers. The patients who have the diseases as well can also educate people, because it makes it easier. People are able to identify with them. Now, corporate companies won't sponsor health shows. They won't sponsor health education. It's very difficult. Sometimes you even want to have a medical outreach. You just need some medications just to send to the villages to give to the people. They will say no. They take you through so much stress because they think that maybe you are going to sell them medication or something. So it makes it very difficult, because after all, you are like, I'm just going to help these people. I won't do much. I'm just getting a couple of friends. We are going to help these people. So just give me medicines to support, and everybody just turns a blind eye to you. But when you bring something entertainment, something fashion, they are just quick to throw so much money into it. So I feel like these are a few of the things that we can do.
Okay, 20 minutes past 9. Those are some interesting solutions. I mean, that Hannelisa has brought up. I wonder, so maybe we can have a concert and do a medical screening on the side, if that's supposed to be a sponsorship.
Oh yeah, why not?
0302216541, 0302216541. The phone lines are open. 0244340437. What is your current pet peeve, and how do we solve it? But your messages on social media are brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and Telecel 4G Just a Touch. Total AFCON is on, and EcoBank and Visa are bringing you loads of excitement this season. Win an all-expense-paid trip to Cairo to watch the game, or give your son or daughter a lifetime opportunity to escort sporting heroes to the pitch. Get your card game on by using your EcoBank Visa card to make payments on POS terminals and online every time, and win. It's that simple. Up your game on payments by using your EcoBank Visa prepaid debit or credit card and stand a chance to go to Egypt. Be among the thousands of participants who walk away with free DSTV installations, Visa prepaid cards loaded with cash, premium Visa souvenirs, data, and more. Go on and use your Visa cards to pay for your shopping, fuel, dining, saloon visits, and more. Pay securely with your EcoBank Visa card on POS terminals and online. Game on this Total AFCON season, brought to you by Visa in partnership with EcoBank, supported by DSTV and the Gaming Commission of Ghana. What's your current pet peeve in Ghana? How do we solve it? 0302216541. I see PY Asari already working hard at the phone lines. But allow me to squeeze in this one quickly. Ben and Abina have been married for 10 years, and it has been heaven on earth. Then a message from a prophetess that Ben should give up his wife to another man. started revealing the cracks in that marriage. Talk about religious influence. I Want Your Wife shows that many of us are playing lax games with people who, when given the opportunity, will demand the very air we breathe. The brand new Ebo White's play shows at the National Theatre 6th, 7th, 13th and 14th of July at 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. daily. You can come over to Joy FM for your tickets. You can go to Frankie's, Say Cheers, Accra Mall and Quick and Fine Supermarkets opposite UPSA, or just WhatsApp 050-554-6030 for details, inquiries and deliveries. I Want Your Wife. Terms and conditions apply. Roverman Productions. Be the difference. Okay, Isaac James is on the line from Abokobi. Good morning, Isaac.
Good morning, Didi. How are you?
I am blessed. How are you?
Enjoying God's grace, Didi.
Beautiful. So what's your pet peeve?
In fact, how Ghanaians, we want the law enforcers to enforce the law, but when we see a policeman arrest somebody for selling at another place, then we are criticizing the police. You see, look at how people are queuing since dawn to register because they want to give the politician the power. But we have forgotten that we can take Ghana by ourselves, but our politicians cannot do it for us. If we stand up and unite our mind, look at how these beautiful ladies at your studio, I mean, whatever they are talking about, that is a real problem and solutions. Let us come together, put our minds together, and solve the problem. And politicians, because they will never do it for us. No politician can use his own money to do any developmental work in Ghana. It is our money, our tax that we pay, that they gather and take it away and enjoy and deteriorate the nation for us.
Thank you very much, Isaac. Kina will agree with you a lot on that point. Auntie Theodora is calling from Dansoman. Good morning, Auntie.
Good morning, Danny. Danny, how are you?
I'm blessed, though. How are you?
I'm fine, by God's grace.
Nice. Let's hear you.
Danny, Ghana belongs to God and not any politician. Nobody, no human being. And you know, this is on my heart. This problem is rightly on my heart. I live in Dansoman, but I apply the Odoko Kaneshi route almost every day. And when you are driving
Theodora, please, yeah, we are getting feedback here. Sorry to step in, but turn off the radio. We are getting some very bad feedback here.
Okay, then I'll turn off my radio. I want to hear my voice, so I'll turn it off.
Go ahead.
Are you okay now?
Yes, it's good. It's good.
I live in Dansoman, but I apply Odoko Kaneshi route almost every day because my church is around the place. And, you know, from Odoko through Pogas to Hansoni Junction, it's appalling. What is Ghana Highways Authority? And do you know something? I've been worrying the policemen a lot. And they tell me it is not their duty. They are right. The MTTU at Odoko and the Dansoman police station. And they always tell me to go to any FM station and announce. What is Highways, Road and Highways Authority? What are they doing? People are tying roadways. And when it is 1 hour, expired for 1 hour, they will be arrested on the road. And the stinky water in front of Gloryland Hotel and the mortuary is very bad. Danny.
Auntie.
Danny.
Auntie.
We are in Ghana and we have to move forward. Ghana is over 60 years now. And what is going on? Me, I'm not blaming any politician. I'm blaming the authorities. This thing it is very stinky. And in front of EcoBank and what do you call the place? Techno, very appalling. Dakuma Junction there. Very, very appalling. Very appalling. It's a nice sort of visitors. Thank you. Danny, it is very, very. And the second place is what do you call it? Bulemi.
Bulemi, where exactly?
Bulemi, from the junction, the main road to the junction, what they call it, top base, that junction to Bulemi, it's on that. It was a stone party for years back. And now it's now a road. And old vehicles take passengers to and fro. And God will bless those people. But what about the roadworthy we are paying? What about that?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Danny, I don't like discussion without implementation. Something must be done about it. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
You too, Auntie Theodora. Thank you very much. Auntie Theodora has made my day. I'll lie to you. Before I come to Kofi Bajuma calling from Kumasi, please hold on just a moment for me. I want to link this one. Hello, Daniel. Good morning. I've been in traffic from Adenta with a V8 vehicle, which happens to be a DCOP riding in it. This is the first time I've seen a disciplined police vehicle. He's been in the traffic with us, never blown any siren like others do. Please do well to comment him for me. The registration number is GP15. GP15. Good morning and thanks for sticking to traffic. I was driving head on with someone, a car price down here. Head on. I mean, he was coming towards me. Pick up. He was, and when I got, so I had to stop in the middle of the road. And when he finally diverted into the traffic, I realized he's a policeman. I said, oh, you are. Anyway, Kofi Bajuma is on the line with us from Kumasi. Kofi, how are we?
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you, Daniel?
I am blessed. Let's hear you.
Daniel, the parliamentarians that we have in Ghana, I don't know how they take us. I mean, we, the electorate, or the people in their constituencies, how they take us for. Daniel, come to Kumasi. I know you were in Kumasi not too long ago.
Not just about 2 or 3 weeks, yeah.
Yes. And you saw how Kumasi streets, Kumasi roads are very, very bad. And the parliamentarians will come and tell us, the people of Kumasi, that they are not development agents, but they are legislators. But when it comes to election, they will come and promise us heaven and earth. And when you vote for them, they go there, sit there, and think of their welfare, how they will get a huge salary. And they don't take the constituents for, they don't care about us. You see, Daniel, it is sad. I don't know if this is how democracy works. Then I'm afraid we need another JJ to clean the system. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kofi, for calling. Akosia is on the line from Akosombo. I can tell you for free, though, that's the kind of democracy we have. It's not how it should be. I can tell you for free. Good morning, Akosia. Please turn off the radio and let's have a conversation.
Okay.
All right. So what's your pet peeve?
Okay. I think that Ghanaians keep complaining about politicians, but when you go outside, it's systems that are working for them. I think that if we put systems in place that will work for us, and I think Ghana will change a bit. Every politician comes on board and then they bring their own ideas, and then the next person comes and we don't even continue what another person has started. But if there's a system in place, then everybody will be going according to the system so that the country can develop and then our lives too can be better. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Akosia, for calling. Marcos B. Anthony says, Dan, mine are road construction and education. Separates road construction from politics. Daniel, I live at Tayman, Gan West. Our road is like the Owari game. From Tayman through to Abokobi to Agbogba, our education too. Yesterday, I was returning to Accra from Techiman, and it is sad the state the schools are in these areas and how much these teachers are being paid. This same teacher earning 500 Ghana cedis a month becomes an MP and is being paid over 15,000 Ghana cedis plus allowances. What is the qualification for a political office or an MP? It beats my mind. 29 minutes till we finish up today's Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. We'll say hi to a few sponsors here, then we'll come back to wrap up. Stay with us.
Daddy, I bet you enjoyed your trip abroad.
Oh, yes. It was worth every peso, and the experience was breathtaking. The beautiful environment, the culture, and the food. Oh, my. Until I got terribly sick.
Perhaps from eating too many new dishes.
But you know, thanks to my Glyco travel insurance policy, all my medical bills were paid for the 3 days that I was on admission.
Really? Glyco travel insurance policy?
Yes, my dear. Glyco travel insurance is the best. Look, it covers medical and emergency services, personal assistance services, emergency return home, personal liability such as legal defense fee, loss of baggage, personal accidents, trip cancellation, or even delayed departure. And even these are the ones I remember off my head.
Yes, Glyco Travel Insurance has a worldwide cover and widely accepted by embassies, both Shenzhen and non-Shenzhen. Visit any of our Glyco offices nationwide or call 020-422-113 or 055-5305-547 for ready assistance from our experienced support team. Be safe, travel protected, and have a peace of mind. Glyco, we cushion you for life.
At Afrodan, we believe that many of the problems people have with their health is as a result of the way they sit. In other words, your chair can kill you. Here's Dr. Marcus Mann of the Chiropractic and Wellness Center.
What you have to remember is that the spine is the lifeline to your body, and posture is the window to that spine. Now, posture is affected by your daily activities and habits like sitting. That's why at the Chiropractic and Wellness Centers, we recommend what I believe to be the best chairs available for preventing not only subluxations, but also other health problems that you may not be aware of. And that's Rabami and Mobilex chairs. Unfortunately, on a daily basis, I have to correct the effects of this poor sitting habit in our businessmen and businesswomen. Always remember, optimal spine equals optimum health.
So, for the sake of your health, buy Rabami or Mobilex chairs from Afrodan. We're on the first floor of the Swansea Shopping Arcade. Telephone 663-085.
Let's go,
My name is Kwame Sefakai, and most of you know me as a media personality, but I am also a family man. The UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, saves me so much time by letting me do almost all of my banking transactions on my phone. The cardless withdrawal feature allows me to withdraw cash from any UMB ATM without an ATM card. I can also pay bills, transfer money, request for a loan, invest money, and so much more. So now, I can spend less time at the bank and more time with the ones I love. Bank anywhere and anytime with a UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, and get the time to do what you love most. Download the UMB Speed App from your Android, iOS, or Windows phone today. Call 0302-633-988 for more information. UMB Speed App, Digibank, let's go!
May the odds be in your favor this soccer season for some cool chop from media. This no be bet and hopo. It be definite win. No kululu. Starting from 1,599 Ghana cedis, buy any media AC and get a free fan. Buy a double door fridge for 749 Ghana cedis. Chill your drinks and keep your food fresh. And in addition, get a free blender. Cooking just got better with just 649 Ghana cedis for a gas cooker and a free toaster plus so much more. My sister, my brother, the odds are definitely in your favor with Media Soccer promo, affordable prices, and so many gifts. Umpeoya, forget BBR. Visit our showrooms and authorized resellers across Ghana.
Kweku, stop it. Don't come and put germs in my food. Mommy, Kweku is using only water to wash his hands.
I see. Maybe your brother is too hungry. He's forgotten that things done by house are never done right.
Kweku. Sorry, Mom. I'm going to wash my hands with soap and running water right now. Better. Did you see Papa? After using the toilet, he's washing his hands with soap and running water.
Yes, for truly clean hands, always wash your hands with soap and running water at all critical times. Before preparing food, before eating, or feeding a child, after visiting the toilet, and after changing your child's nappy. Let hand washing with soap and running water be a part of the everyday things you do for good life. Good life, live it well. It's an everyday thing. This message is brought to you by the Ghana Health Service, USAID, and partners.
Soap and running water. Good life, live it well. Super Morning Show.
24 minutes till we wrap up today's show. I'm coming back to my guests in studio for their final words before I speak to my friends from Vodafone. So if we were to make a clarion call, if we were to go out with one decision, something to do, what would it be? Beginning with you, Issy.
if you notice somebody doing something well, where you expect them not to, or where you've gotten used to people not doing it well, make sure you publicly acknowledge it. Let them know it makes a difference. So if I go somewhere and the service is very good, or an artisan does work and it's very well done, I make sure I go out of my way. If it's public acknowledgement, putting them on some of my social media platforms, just let people realize that it matters. That's something that we can all do.
Yeah, that's true. Kina.
So, I mean, I hate to break this to Ghanaians, but we are a multi-party democracy. I wish people would read our constitution. It doesn't help to say let's take politics out of it, because in fact, the document that orders our lives says politics. It doesn't mean that there's only one way to do politics, this current way. But I like Auntie Theodora has won it. Be like Auntie Theodora, complain. You see, she didn't take it to too high a level to DCEs and MPs and presidents.
No.
She said Ghana highways and authorities. So sometimes we assume, because we are so big leader oriented, your lights go off and you're like, Nanado has taken my lights. No, call ECG. Your water is off. Go to the water company. But if we had more people like complaining, or like AC is saying, speaking up is a practice. It's a habit you form. You see what I'm trying to say? So I'm not going to say that because we've said this today now or China, people will be changing. But get into the habit of even once a month making a formal complaint about something, going to the local authorities. You will see that once you do that now, it becomes part and parcel of how you see Ghana. And if we get more people like Auntie Theodora, however long this takes, we will start to get the country. Because then, and you see where she is, she might be the only one. Then it becomes a burden on her. After a while, she will stop. So don't be, let's encourage each other. And when you hear somebody speaking up about something, number one, don't say that, that person, the English is nice, or that person is too no. Join the person. Because when somebody else complains, if it is taken up, it benefits all of us. So be like Auntie Theodora. Make complaints.
I think that's today's hashtag. Be like Auntie Theodora. Hannah.
I think that we should learn to practice preventive medicine. We should avoid stigmatization of people with certain medical conditions, such that they are encouraged to talk about it. And we should realize that healthcare is all of us. It's not just one person or restricted to the health personnel, but it's all of us. And we should go out educating people with the right kind of education. And please make it a point to visit the hospital at least once a year for a medical screening.
Thank you very much, ladies. My name is Daniel Dazi. I was here with Esiansa Kinalekimani and Hannah Lisa Tete. I would add something to what we must all do. Endeavor to know more. I think that the more you know, the better off you are generally in life. And
news, you have to have that.
stay away from fake news.
And do not forward fake news on to your various WhatsApp groups.
Yeah, I mean, okay, and they'll write joy news and night and say that we did it. Please, we haven't done anything. It's 20 minutes so we end today's Super Morning Show. I've been joined by my good friend George Aben. He's fixed proportions manager at Vodafone Ghana. He's here because Vodafone Ghana has introduced another industry's first product known as Vodafone One Family, and